Go all the way down.
Pull it out.
Use a Michigan
Great.
and you want to put it
Beautiful.
in the
Let me
mouth.
see that now. Put it
Take
on
your
the line.
fingers.
What dog do you have
Break
in this
it down.
fight?
It's not hot. Perfect job. You could be a professional.
See,
Come back next year. But they will eventually look like a
She's a very good jewelry maker too. She's very precise. I
Then she
trained
can
her
definitely
well.
do.
No,
It was just very time consuming.
Yeah, yeah. I think still
sometimes
wore,
very
you
hot.
know, some of the classier people still wore jewelry. I
But
should
there will
take
be
mine
candles
off,
for the
but-
camp for a long time. Once they get a bit fatter like this, right?
Yeah, that's about the size they got to get to.
Yep, so they got a long way to go.
Usually takes about 15 to 20. This is the 6th. So they got a ways to go.
Where the horses are. And then if you go further down from that, there is the Native American camp. It's like the District Artillery. We represent the state of Rhode Island. We are the United Training. All about. Most of those horses are rescue horses. Which is really wonderful. I'm flipping them last night.
Right. But that's about how big they would be. This isn't real. This is plastic.
No. It's interesting on that. How much of a charge you put in?
A field charge would be 8 ounces. What we're shooting out here was only 3.
The 3 you're using for the demonstration.
Right.
That's loud enough.
Well, it becomes a waste of money. We're shooting 8 ounces of powder now.
Turn the knob and they go away.
Yeah, 8 for a field and 3. Do you ever try more than that now and then?
Well, I'll tell you something, to be very honest with you. This barrel is scaled down in size because the sleeve is put in.
Right.
Because the original was a 3-inch bore.
Yeah, that's why
All
he's
right.
saying this
Now,
is...
the 3-inch bore with an 8-ounce charge. I'll just give you an idea. With the 2 1/4-inch ball that's in that thing, that we fire with 3 ounces of powder, at 100 yards you can drive it through a green 12-inch telephone pole.
In this roll.
This carriage here, only you were shooting a 12-pounder. All right, it was a howitzer, you know, so it's quite a thing.
It's interesting. I didn't know really.
What we're doing is making bullets out of lead with dyes that we have.
Put on this side. That's it. I'm not gonna get the other one. When you first come in with a cold mold like I just did, you only get like half a ball. I pick it up, but it's too hot to handle.
Doing is taking out the impurities. The lead will, the impurities will rise above the liquid lead. Just get that out of there. That there's the end result right there.
I'm the regimental surgeon, and I would travel with the unit. Sheldon's horse had about 300 soldiers at any one time, and they did have a surgeon and a surgeon's mate that would travel with them. They would, take care of the day-to-day soldiers' needs, anything from dentistry. These are my so-called dental tools. It's called a tooth key for removing a tooth. To making medicines. I mean, they did have apothecaries back then, which was their term for a druggist or a pharmacist. But a lot of times, they were off away from the town. They didn't have medicines. They'd have to make their own. So I have, a book such as this, which would give me instructions for making different pills or gargles or different types of medicines. I'd start out by measuring my ingredients with just a simple balance scale, and then I would grind it up with this, which is a mortar and pestle. If I was making a pill, I would need something to hold everything together, which is called a binder. And in this case, I'm using wax, and just heat it up a little bit to hold everything together. And then I would roll it out on this pill tile. Now my instructions tell me how many pills I'm going to get, so I know how far of a line to roll. And then I just cut the pieces. Some of the things I would use, these are just a few of the items. The honey, if I had a medicine that was, say, just a dry powder, I'd mix it with the honey just to make it easier to swallow. Or I would use this, maybe if I had a medicinal tea, just to sweeten it a little. This is turpentine. I actually found instructions for a pill they made using turpentine and deer dung. And they give it to people with consumption, or what we call tuberculosis. I'm not sure whether that worked or not. What's this? This is the flaxseed. Now flax is a plant that is grown, and they make linen out of it. But what I would use it for is I'd grind this up and heat it, make almost like a paste or a poultice, and put it on someone if you had to burn. Put it on there, and then you cover it maybe with flannel. Or they also used to just use the flannel, soak it in hot water, and put it again the heat, drawing the pain out. These are peppers if I wanted to make you sweat. This is vinegar. A lot of times they use the symbol instead of a word, because they may have had an assistant that couldn't read, but they would learn the symbols. The vinegar could be used as a smelling salt, used in different medicines. They also used it if someone had worms. They would soak a tobacco leaf in it and put it on your stomach. The olive oil, they would use that for burns. They would use that with wax, make like a poultice out of it, put it on burns. This is laudanum, which is a painkiller, opium and wine. It's very expensive, plus addictive because of the opium. So a lot of times for pain, they might just give someone a stick with leather on it. Or you may have heard the expression, bite the bullet. This is actually a copy of a musket ball that was found with tooth marks in it. Now back then, in 18th century medicine, they believed if something was wrong with you, what they called the humors were out of balance. So they would either give you something to restore the humors, medicine or change in diet, or they would do something to get rid of the bad humors. Give you something to sweat. I mentioned the peppers. Give you something to make you go to the bathroom or make you throw up. Or commonly they would take blood out of you. And they would have a chart showing you, depending on what was wrong, where you'd take the blood out. Or they would use something like this, which is called a lancet, or this is just another instrument called a fleam. And they would make an incision, drain blood out, and then they would just suture it up with a needle. They also used leeches for taking blood out. And when they were doing bleeding, they might also use this, which is called a cup. You'd heat it up and put it over where you just made the incision, and as it cools, it would draw the blood out. These are just some scalpels I have. This is a retractor. If I was working on a wound, I might have a pair of these to hold the wound open. This is a clister, which we use either for enemas or administering medicine if someone couldn't take it through the mouth. This is just a probe, and if someone got hit with a musket ball, I would maybe I'd first try to find it with my finger if it wasn't in too deep, or I'd use this probe. When the metal hit metal, I knew I'd find the ball, and I'd use these, which are retractors, to take the musket ball out. These are just, I mentioned getting the bad humors out. One thing they used to do is this is called a blistering tool. Blistering iron. Heat this up and put it on your skin and raise a blister, and they felt they were drawing the bad humors out. And then, of course, amputation. If someone got hit with a musket ball and we couldn't repair the bone, was shattered, we do an amputation also to prevent the spread of gangrene. So first we cut the skin and muscle with this, which is called a corporal knife, and then use the saw to to cut the bone. If there were any veins that were still bleeding, we'd pull them out with this instrument called the tenaculum, and then either tie a knot in the vein or maybe just sew them up. And then to patch it, or afterwards, we probably put some of this is called tow, which is a byproduct of making linen. It's sort of the small fibers that are left over. Probably put that on you, and then you just put some bandages on it.
Dry cleaner.
Well, did you hear Sal's story about the dry cleaner? He took his regimental in and they all...
The dentistry. Yeah, I think you do they take real good care of their teeth back then, so often by the time
Actually, because they're eating up there. We have libation at one.
Well, unless the food didn't come yet.
Well, I saw a basket of stuff,
And
but
she's the woman who's
normal
part of this.
baskets are not.
But she is 18th century psych person who's dressed 18th century. And Sandy is the other one who's not.
No, that's upside down. I know, just like holding the back. This is our grandson Kyle.
Now, there's artifacts that when Richard rose the two, he did allow, so to speak, pot hunters. And one of them found some artifacts here.
Hi, I'm Abby from Bolton, and my favorite part here was seeing the cannons firing.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and I'm from Bolton, and my favorite part was petting the horses.